Hey guys, it's Full Carts here, live and direct from Brooklyn, New York, and in front of me today I have Zero. What I'm going to do today is give you guys a bit of a tip video, a top 10 of retailers and websites you should visit if you're looking to buy hobby boxes. I get asked this question all the time. There's no trick to it, guys. You have to buy during sales. You have to look at your shipping costs and customs costs if you ship across borders. You have to do some comparison shopping, but I'll give you some tips. So here we go. First thing I just want to mention is do go to the Upper Deck website in their B2B section, and they do have a list of authorized internet retailers, and you can go to these different websites and drill down and see whether or not these particular stores are good to you and you'd like to buy from them. So that's a quick tip. Second thing is there's other sort of compendiums online, like this one, Wax Pack Gods. They have lists of stores. This is mostly in relation to football or baseball cards or whatever, but they also have lists. So you can find compendiums of retailers online on various websites. All right, so do buy during seasonal sales. So do be careful when you're comparing shopping. Do be conscious of your taxes and your shipping costs and go almost all the way to checkout to compare between websites. All right, so let's get to the top 10 list. First thing I want to mention, just in passing, number 10 is group breakers. This is when you actually buy a team, a random team or a specific team, and you break some boxes, either one box or multiple boxes, and you get all the players from that team. There are group breakers out there who do that so that you don't have to pay the entirety of a hobby box. I'm just mentioning this in passing in case you aren't aware of them. The most famous one is probably Clouts and Chara. I hate their group breaks. I find them so loud and obnoxious, but that's just me. But I do recommend them if you're sort of going into the 101 of group breaks and want to understand how they work, because they explain all this stuff. Of course, there's Mojo Break, and there's like 1,000 other group breakers out there that you can do. I like little mom and pops ones, but I thought I'd just mention them in passing as number 10. Number 9, I will also mention in passing, would happen to be international websites. What really, really sucks is people who are in Europe only have access to a few decent websites, and in Canada and in the US, the cards are so much cheaper. Often the variety in Europe is only MVP and OPG and Upper Deck Series 1, Series 2. But there are a couple of known sites out there. Hockey Carta, which is a Czech site, is probably one of the best ones out there. So I would mention them. You can sort of find decent variety of stuff on this Czech site. The other famous one I would say, which is sort of an international site, would be the one in Sweden, which is Cool Cards SE. I think they're also known as Hockey Heaven AB is what they're typically known as, but they actually have really decent variety of boxes and stuff to drill down into. So these are the two known international sites. There are other ones, but these are probably the best ones. You can also, people in international destinations, people in Europe and so on, you can also order for some of the American sites, but order in bulk with other friends, or have your store order the cards so that the shipping costs come down, and then it's actually worth your while to order from American sites, mindful of if you have customs or whatever else you have to factor in, taxes, whatever. Number 8, I have to mention Walmart. I don't like Walmart. I find that it's just retail boxes. They're overpriced typically. There's also Target, so these are the two I mentioned under this particular heading, number 8. But if you want to impulse buy, if you want a quick retail box, they typically have MVP, OPG, Upper Deck, and stuff like that. A lot of Targets don't have anything anymore. Certainly they'll have baseball, but they won't have hockey. It really depends where you are, if you're in the US or not. Fat packs are brutal. I hate fat packs, but they do have some supplies, and you can order from the website. But more importantly, you can do an impulse buy. Sometimes they have mystery boxes and stuff. But if you want to do a quick impulse buy for $20, I would almost suggest getting a Parker's box if you can find one, because they're good value. But you know, it's Walmart. Walmart is known for having a lot of crap, cheap crap. But if you want a quick impulse buy of cheap crap, Walmart or Target would be the places to go. Just note, guys, that Walmart typically has retail, and it is always worth your while to pay for hobby box over retail boxes, because hobby box have just so much more stuff in it, bang for buck. But if you only have $20 or you're a kid, bang, go out, get yourself a box of the SP retail with a guaranteed hit. Next, I'll mention just a couple of websites in passing as tertiary sort of nods to these websites. So for example, Blowout Cards is a decent one. It has okay variety. It has okay prices. On occasion, I bought from them during blowout sales. So if you can hit a blowout sale, then maybe you're in business. But, you know, I just don't find the variety all that great. So, and look at this. So 2015-16 OPG Platinum, they're saying $250. That's just craziness to me. But they're a decent site. Another decent site would be Charm City. Again, with decent variety, decent prices, on occasion, decent sales. So there are a couple of tertiary sites where you can just sort of comparison shop. You go to the Upper Deck list that I mentioned before, and you find a couple of other websites other than your big boys, the big boys that we know so well, and you might find some decent stuff on them. So that would be Blowout and Charm City and some other ones. Actually, quickly, one other site I want to mention in terms of tertiary sites is Cardboard Memories. They're a Canadian site. What I like about them is they have pretty decent selection. I know a lot of the boxes are sold out, but the prices are somewhat competitive, and it looks like a pretty decent site, even though I've never bought from them. Also, you note here that it says up at the top, free shipping if you spend over $150 Canadian to Ontario and Quebec, so that's always a benefit. Number 6, what I have to mention would definitely be eBay. eBay is just a good starting point to comparison shop. It's particularly good for really, really old products because, you know, very often cards and boxes are depleted at some point in time, and on occasion someone will come on eBay emptying out their closet with boxes that you just don't see anymore. So that's the benefit of it. The other thing too is you can find individual cards on eBay and find their prices and then compare that to the hobby box you want to buy. So for example, if you're trying to buy a box from 2015-16 and the box now costs $600, but you can find on eBay the rookie card of McDavid for only $400, buy the card directly, don't even with 100% certainty, as opposed to buying the box trying to hit with not certain odds. So that's the other thing you can do on eBay, but eBay for the most part is really, really good just for really old boxes. It also can lead you to retailers because a lot of retailers sell their boxes on eBay. All right, number 5, I have to mention LCS. So LCS means local card shop. The benefit of local card shops is you're supporting your local dude. You get in, you can have a conversation, you can share the hobby. The other thing is on release day, you can wait at the door and they open the door and you get the box right away. There's a lot of benefits to local card shops. The big benefit is it's a community buy. You're basically supporting your local dude. So that depends on where you are. Sometimes they also have boxes that other websites don't have because they're depleted. They've hidden some boxes away. There's a lot of benefits to local card shops. For example, one of the best ones in Toronto that I really like would happen to be 401 Games. They're not the best with hockey cards, but they actually have a pretty decent variety of stuff. Their expertise is probably more gaming and whatever, but they're like on Yonge Street. They're really easy to access. I think they're still on Yonge Street. They might have had multiple locations. I don't know. You tell me, guys. But you can buy, you can pre-order, you can buy ahead of time and pick up your box. You can do whatever you want, but it's good for Christmas shopping for a friend if you're in Toronto. There's other ones like I think Mirage is where out of Ottawa or something. I know a bunch of people in Canada like Mirage. You can actually order from Mirage as well. In LA, there's a place called the Bullpen. They're fantastic. I love the Bullpen. They had boxes that I just couldn't find anywhere else. So local card shop. And in Queens, there's a place called Royal that I go to. It's hard to get to, but they're great guys. All right, on to the big boys, okay? So the big boys. Number 4. Number 4 would be Big Boy Cards. Big Boy Cards is out of Montreal. It's off Crémazie. I think it's outside of Park Extension in the East End in Montreal. They're fantastic. They used to be called K-Can. You probably know them as K-Can. Now they're called Big Boy Cards. The benefit of these guys is they just have tremendous variety. They used to have stellar prices, but their prices have gone way up, which sort of is unfortunate. If you visit them, it's just like walking into a warehouse. They have a ton of stuff. So I really recommend them, mostly in terms of variety. They do ship to the US. They're in Canada, but they ship to the US, but they're cool for school. One thing you have to do is ensure that you're in the right currency. It might default to American currency, but when you go through checkout, it will default back to Canadian currency, so don't get shocked if the sticker price goes way up. Be sure to go all the way through checkout to see and comparison shop in terms of how much the taxes are, how much the shipping is, and so on. But Big Boy Cards is just hot in terms of the variety of stuff that they have in terms of hockey cards. So the one negative thing in this site, besides the pop-ups, if you sort from low to high, you just have to be cognizant of the fact that even though they should have all these things, they only have the things in red, not the things in gray. So just be cognizant of the fact that it might look like they have things, like all this stuff, but in fact, they only have the ones in red. At one point, they did have all of these ones in gray, and that's why they're so cool. Their variety is spectacular, and their prices are competitive for the most part. They still are very competitive. All right, number three. Number three would happen to be, I would say, Grizzly, which is in Canada. It's a Canadian website. These guys are fantastic. The huge benefit of this site is everything's in Canadian dollars. So that's spectacular. We're talking about a 25% difference. So the prices are way lower than they seem, than they appear. Typically, all of their blaster boxes and everything go on sale for like $10, $15, which is fantastic. So I don't even think there's a seasonal sale now, yet their prices are very, very competitive. And once you start getting into the mid-range cards, the $60 to $70 Canadian cards, you start realizing just how amazing their variety is. They really have spectacular variety, lots of old school products, and they do ship to the US as well, and they ship to the US pretty competitively because everything's in Canadian dollars. I just think they're one of the best websites in the world, Grizzly, a little known fact. So there you go, here they are. And their prices, as I said, all Canadian, so really not terrible when you factor that in. So number two would be Dave & Adams. Dave & Adams is particularly good for seasonal sales. They're fantastic during seasonal sales. They have daily deals that are usually super competitive. So you sort by hockey and you'll notice all the things that they're trying to get rid of, they sell very, very competitively. The one negative with regard to these guys, and it's a pretty big negative, is they do not factor in taxes. So there's other websites that do factor in taxes. So the prices are a bit more than the sticker price compared to some of the other big boys. The other thing too is they have all these repackaged things that they're really, really pushing, and they push group breaks and so on. And in reality, these repackaged things are not good. They sound amazing with Super Mario, OV, Crosby, Tavares, but in reality, they mix in a bunch of really, really so-so players, and they keep their prices up. I think this stuff, these repackaged things, are gimmicks, so really watch out for them. Don't assume that they're deals because they look like deals. They're not. But otherwise, they're a fantastic website. You would shop by hockey cards, and you would sort by low to high, and you'll see they'll have packs, individual packs that are affordable, and they just have a lot of stuff across all the years, and typically their prices are pretty competitive. Their AHL cards are usually some of the cheapest you'll find if you're into AHL cards, but they're good. They have a nice variety. They're very solid. They ship fairly quickly, and they are in New York, upstate New York. Just be careful, guys, when you order from these guys from Canada. You could get nailed with customs when they arrive at your door in Canada. So cross-border buying with these guys can be very dangerous if you're buying from Canada. Finally, guys, so that's number two. Finally, guys, number one. Number one would happen to be Steel City Collectibles. I love these guys. I think they're absolutely fantastic. They have promo codes and stuff. They have a point system now. They have special deals. Their seasonal sales are spectacular. But the best thing is just their variety of hockey cards is bar none the best in the world, I think. So if you sort by box and by blaster and apply, and you sort from low to high, you'll just see the variety of old school products they have is insane. And it just goes on and on. Their prices are always very competitive. But you have to hit these guys during Black Friday sales, Boxing Day sales, summer sales, and they are spectacular. Their prices come down quite a bit. They're always competitive, and they have almost everything you need. If you can't find it here, you'll find it on Dave & Adams. These guys are outside of Pittsburgh, thus the Steel City. But the biggest benefit of these guys is that, for the most part, they actually do factor in taxes on their sticker price. And I think if you buy over $200, shipping is completely free. So that's something else to factor in with some of these websites. You very often get free shipping if you buy over a certain amount. So that's basically it, guys. That would be my top 10 list. Some of the recent boxes they opened up, I'll be giving away. Please be sure to sub, like, and hashtag Dryden. Turn on your notifications to get in it to win it. I'm going to be full of cards live and direct from a place called Brooklyn, New York.